as we get into this Bible decoding depth, number one, please be aware that like I kind of jump all over the Bible because that's how my brain works and how my mind works. So in this video, how is zit? I'm really happy about that because when you're a kid you get zit, so it means I'm like you thing, right? So here's the deal. In this video, what we're going to talk about is Jesus and a bit of the church, and if you are a member of the church or a priest or a nun or the Pope, whoever you are, I just want to say something straight up. We're all human beings. We're all creatures. We're all sons of God. So what I really want to say here is your perspective and your life path is totally valid and completely amazing and full of light. And at the same time, there are people that I personally know, like living in trailer parks, that want to wrap their head around the Bible in a way that doesn't just serve them, but serves God. Okay, so let's start with that. Everyone wants to embrace the word on a level that helps them be empowered in their little experience, because even if you're the Pope living in the Vatican, you only get to touch and talk to so many people. I mean, you could stand on the balcony and like give a speech to a bunch of people, but then they go off into their little lives. So the whole point of Jesus's lifetime is to empower people to take that love and that light out into their little tiny influential realities. So I'm going to say this probably in a lot of videos. Hi, my name's Christina. I worked a medical miracle and figured out quantum physics and how to make it work on the physical. I am technically 49 years old, they tell me, because that's how long my ass has been. And I cuss a lot. And you know why I cuss? I should tell you this. I cuss because people put like negative connotations on vibrational words that offend people, and we should not be offended by words when they make us laugh. So when you say ass and when you say the F word and when you say shit and damn and whatever, it's intended, from my perspective, to make you laugh. So here we go. Whoever you are, wherever you are, the Bible is a gift of documented lifetimes of people that took the time to write down for you that I embrace this energy called Christ and God. I brought it into my mentality and into my heart and let it shine out of my body, into my mouth and through my hands in writing. And I want to give it back to you so that when you're having a lifetime on planet Earth, because there's other planets you can have lifetimes on, but when you're here, I want you to have 100% confidence in the love of the universe. And don't back down, because that's the only thing that people get freaked out about, is when they feel disconnected from the fact that before they got here, they were there in the love, and then they come here and then there's a lack of love and they get freaked out. Okay? So that's the premise and the basis of some of my videos. My background, oh, that's so boring. My background, but we'll go there really quickly, really small. My background is I've studied sacred text and wandered the planet for a really long time, and Jesus and I have this thing, and that's, on my ego level, really embarrassing to admit that Jesus and I are like knotted, like married, because most people wouldn't believe that, but I would be disrespectful of the relationship that he and I have had since I was born if I didn't tell you that. He's always appeared to me. He always shows up in my room. He always talks to me. He always trains me and shows me that I am one of his blessed, not that that means I'm better, I'm just one of his friends that signed up, just like you did, to anchor that light on the planet. So I sometimes yell at rock stars like Bono of U2, because Bono is anchoring some light, because we're from what I've been trained in, we're supposed to do our individual paths, but at the same time connect with each other as a family while we're in our bodies, to demonstrate and prove that we could be as disconnected as eternally possible, but yet on the planet find each other. That's how powerful God is. He will make sure you find your light reflections, your family. And I do get frustrated with super successful people because they get super successful and then like that path gets lost, but not my problem. So at any rate, this video right here right now is a extension of a conversation I had last night with my friend Jade. Jade lives in Australia. We met on Instagram. It was really cool. And Jade is an empath and a light worker and an energy healer, and she can help people find their voice. And so she sent me a message about like what's going on. You know, the energy seems to have stopped. And are we still in the void? And it was really well timed because I had been, in the past 24 hours prior to that conversation, downloading and integrating different aspects of myself in my physical family, non-physical family. And what had just happened to me was my mom's dead. She was killed in 1974 by a drunk driver. What had just downloaded to me was my mom showed up to say, I'm gonna walk with you and carry you and train you with Jesus and all these new levels. And it blew my mind because prior to that moment, I had always been seeing it through the eyes of just me, Jesus, and the ETs. If you don't know what ETs are, I have videos about extraterrestrials, so I'm not going to go too deep right now. So I always thought it was just like that Trinity. And then my mom chimes in. She's like, no, you can't carry this on your own. I'm on that side, you know, invisible, dead, and I'm existing in a parallel reality that I want to help you help people, which blew my mind because very rarely does she ever speak. So I was like, okay, so what are we doing with this? Like, how do I do this? And she's like, well, you're gonna decode the Bible. You're gonna retrain people into how to read the Bible from a quantum level. Reading the Bible from a quantum level becomes really fun. The Bible becomes a gift of joy, not a threat of damnation. Key, very important. Who the hell wants to beat a kid up with the Bible? So all this had just happened to me, and then Jade's like, what are we happening? What's going on in the boy? And I was like, all right, here we go. This is what just happened. So then Jade and I have this conversation on Messenger, and I gave her this speech about Jesus and the church, and she goes, do you have that in a video? You need to tell people this. And I was like, no, I mean, I have it in notebooks, but I've never digitized it, right? And she's like, you need to do that. So this video is my answer to Jade's request for speaking about the Bible and Jesus in the church as I've been trained in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about, I'm going to bring in specks of my lifetime, but they're not intended to be like personal stories of like I'm smart or whatever, who gives a shit. It's intended to be like, this is what happened to me with all those higher consciousnesses constantly training me to be able to hold this much information. So here's what happened. When I was a little girl, I used to go to church, and I would sit there, and I can remember sitting in the pew, and one time I like was sitting or standing, and then I had to sit down and like cracked my head on the back of a pew. But I was always staring at that dead body. He's like bleeding. I'm a little kid, and I'm like, something's wrong. Now, if you've watched my other videos, you would know, yeah, Christina, you say that all the time. But Jade pulled out some information from me that I had not posted before. And so, play with me here. I would be like, something's off. Something's really wrong. And I know it, and I know that I know the bounce, the other side of this story. I gotta find this. But as a child, I would just look at this guy bleeding, nailed on a cross, and I loved him so much, and it broke my heart. And then it shifted to like, why in a church that's supposed to be based on love are we subjecting children to visuals of death? Of like, we're going to kill you. And so I dug really deep in the Bible and everything else until I realized, on the one hand, it's a warning. It's a warning sign, a subconscious, no judgment on the church, no judgment on anybody, but it's like a subconscious warning sign from people that want to rule the world from fear, that we hang up this body, and that's what happened when Jesus was crucified. It's like, here's a warning sign. If you decide that you're awake and you're the Christ, we're going to kill you. And I was like, all right, I get that. That makes sense. So it's a warning. Don't wake up. Don't speak the truth. Don't walk the truth, because we will kill you. And even Jesus said that right before he was subjected to all of that hatred and ugliness. He was asked by Pilate, who are you? Are you the Christ? And he said the most profound truth ever. He was like, I am who you say I am. Meaning, I can't influence your belief system. You're going to believe what you want to believe. I'm either the light or I'm not, but it's on you, man. Pilate, Romans, whatever, Jews, Gentiles, doesn't matter. But people are going to choose to accept the light or deny the light based on their own belief systems. And Jesus was walking a path as an example to show not just light workers and his family and friends, but this is what happens on earth, is that they're going to believe what they're going to believe. And we're going to walk the light, and we're going to die and be reborn. We're going to be who we are. But be forewarned, light workers, my children, my friends, that they have belief systems that, hard as we try, they may not listen to us. They may not want to let go and be the light too, and they'll kill us, literally. And I was like, well, that's a scary little ugly way to live. And he's like, but wait, there's a bounce. And I was like, oh, there's a bounce? What's a bounce? The bounce means there's always duality. There's always, every lesson has 2 points of view. And I was like, all right, what's the bounce? And he said, well, while you've got this dead body hanging up on the cross, as a light worker, that's terrifying. But knowing that I died and was reborn and I rose again and went off to live other lifetimes. As a light worker, what that shows you is like, we just keep doing this over and over and again. But with the people who want to deny they're being hosted in a body of light, they want to deny, like, oh no, I'm just a person, I'm an individual, I'm not connected to God, I'm not this, I'm not that, blah, blah, blah. The cross is a symbol of, when you deny that connection, you kill yourself. You lay yourself down to the gauntlet, to the stations of the cross. You give up your power to be the light to the opinions of others. And I was like, damn, that is a dualistic, amazing paradox of lessons. And he was like, yeah, so you got to see it both ways. As a light worker, it makes you a little bit scared of humanity because they'll kick your ass. But as a light worker, it also makes you empowered because you know you can't kill the light. But you can exemplify through your words, through your lifetime, that, dudes, you either give in and succumb to the light or you kill it. Now, how does that roll? It rolls like this. The last thing Jesus said, accordingly, he said, my God, why have you forsaken me? It wasn't Jesus being angry with God. It was Jesus saying, my God, why have you forsaken me? He's putting into words what your body is saying to you as a soul, that you never listened to it. You never paid attention. You never got back into your true self, and you forsook your own life path. My God, why have you forsaken me? Well, what's a me? You're me. So it's a self-conversation as a kind of a play, an example to say, don't deny your own truth. Don't deny your own connection to God. Don't let other people's fear bring you down and crucify you. Stand up for that love and be that love. And that's the beauty of the crucifixion. So when I look at a church, I'm like, I hate that you guys have this bloody body up there, because that's, in my opinion, really not conducive to children remembering how blessed they are. But from an adult perspective, it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. You're reminding us that if we don't stand with love, if we don't be love, then we crucify the love. We kill it. We forget it. And that's a powerful message. A very powerful message. Jade, the last thing she wrote to me was about the white stone in Revelation. I own the white stone. Did I just say that? I own the white stone. I've had it for shucks, many years. It's a beautiful stone. And I'm grateful for that, because it keeps me in my egotistical, individualized mentality, remembering that I have a promise to keep, which is God's real, love is real, generation after generation after generation. So when you look at a crucified Christ, he's reflecting back to you that, like, you either stand up for love or you kill it. And even if you kill it, it rises up again. And we keep going to teach each other how powerful love is. Please leave your messages, please, in the comments below or whatever, just so that you can remember how much you know in your life's path. And I will respond back to you. And thank you for watching. We'll keep going with the Bible. The Bible, again, last words on this, is it's a hologram. And Jesus and I have been playing this game for a really long time. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was really terrified opening my mouth and talking about what he and I do. But I'm not afraid anymore.